Hey everybody, Ryan here, and today is the day. Today is the day that we will finally overseed the Bermuda with the Kentucky bluegrass. So I've finally decided what bluegrass seed we're going to use, and it's the Brug Turf Blue HGT. And what I did is I chose the coated version because of the fungicide that's built into the coating. I think it's like Apron XL or something like that. So in the past, when I had seeded I'd seeded once a turf type tall fescue, and I didn't have the fungicide built into it, and I ended up with fungus issues, and it kind of screwed up the whole thing. I had to reseed and reseed. But this time, and actually last year with the ryegrass overseed, and at the time before I used that same seed, it had the same Apron XL built into it, and I had no issues whatsoever with fungus. So that's what we're gonna go with here. Disclosure, Brug sent the seed to me. I chose the coated, and they accidentally sent me the uncoated first, so then they sent the coated afterwards. So I've got both, and I'll show you kind of how the difference is. I may try something where I use the uncoated seed in certain areas, and we'll just see how it germinates differently. We'll see once I get out here and start doing this. All right, so along with the seed, what we're gonna do today is put down a starter fertilizer. I went with X-Start. I looked around. I didn't really know what to get, and I just figured, let's give this a shot. It's by, who is that, Carbon Earth or something. So I went and bought some of that, just one bag. It should be plenty, and we'll use that as our fertilizer. And I think I'm also going to put down Tenacity, which is good for cool season grass. Not so good for warm season grass, but Bermuda, it's going out now, so it'll come back. The Tenacity will not kill it, but it will help keep it from growing in during this time period where I need the Kentucky bluegrass to kind of grow in. And it also will help, the Tenacity will help with any weeds that pop up, because I did aerate and dethatch and probably disturbed quite a bit by doing so. So yesterday we had a cold front come through. We're now looking at temps for the next week or plus to be in the 70s for the daytime highs, lows in the 50s. Some nights, they said there's a chance of frost one night, I think this weekend. So, and it's dry for the next 7 to 10 days. I call that a win. The soil temps should still be pretty warm. The air temps should cooperate. No rain. I kind of prefer that when bringing in seed, especially that I can water it myself like I can. I like to control the water. I don't want washouts or anything like that. So everything looks good for the grow in. I'm glad that I waited as long as I did. I've seeded earlier before and been hit with crazy high temperatures and issues. So I think everything should work out for the better in this situation. So just to recap, kind of what we did the last few days. Today is Tuesday, and on Sunday I scalped the section that we're going to seed. I aerated. I dethatched, then I ran over it again with a push mower and bagged it all, and I thought about scalping or just going over it one more time with a real mower, not any lower than I did, but just to kind of clean it up. But I think we're just going to leave it like it is. And yesterday we had the cool front come through. It was really windy, and it's still windy today, but not quite near as windy. And if you've seen Kentucky bluegrass seed, it's very similar to Bermuda seed, which is very tiny. And I did not think that the wind and the tiny seed would be a good combo. And even today it kind of worries me, but you know, we got to do what we got to do. But when you get Kentucky bluegrass seed, do not be surprised how small it is in comparison to fescue. It's much smaller. It's just, I think you have to be much more precise and much more delicate with your spreading it out. I don't have a drop spreader, so I'm going to use a little handheld Scott's electric spreader for this small area. I didn't want to use the big spreader because I just don't trust the evenness that it will spread it with. So it'll take me a little bit of time, but I'll use the handheld spreader. I think it'll work out just fine. We're going to spread the seed out. We're going to put our starter fertilizer out, and then I'll come back with tenacity and spray over the top. And I feel like that should cover everything. We'll start watering it, and hopefully in 10 days or so we'll start seeing some germination with this Kentucky bluegrass. The rate they suggest is 2 to 3 pounds per thousand. I'm going to go with 3 pounds, so we're going to put 6 pounds of seed out. That'll leave us 4 pounds for anything we need, and we also have the other bag, the 10-pound bag of the uncoated seed that we can also use as well. So we're going to go ahead and let's just see how much 1 full cup per pitcher gets us. So about 28 ounces of on the mark here gives us a pound. So we're going to need 6 pounds. This is the spreader we're going to use. So there's 1 pound, 2 pounds. This is 3 pounds. All right, so that's about what 3 pounds of seed looks like. This is where I dethatched and everything, and you can see how it exposes the dirt here. Now let's go to this area where I didn't dethatch, and it's a totally different deal here. So that's the only difference between this and the other was dethatched. This got a little bit of aeration as well, but this would have been a pretty tough seed bed to get through the grass, because without actually going back behind it with a rake or something and really working it into the dirt. But I think where I dethatched and aerated, I think just water will get it down close enough. I think we're going to do really well. I did the same thing last year and had really good germination with the ryegrass as well. Okay, so this line right here with the fence post all the way down, this is to the left. I've not really put any seed. There's probably a few stragglers that got through over here on the left side, but all of our seed is to the right here. And what I'm going to do is bring the uncoated seed and I'm going to seed over here. It's not exactly the best representation because there's some areas over here that weren't dethatched, but there are still some areas here that will be covered that were dethatched, and you can see pretty easily right down to the dirt. Alright, so here's our fertilizer, X-Start DIY, 824.4 is the NPK on it, and we're gonna go with another 3 pounds per thousand. That's about how much, so I think it said like a 6 on the spreader here. The bag actually has the rates on it, so we're gonna spread that now. Next, we're gonna put down tenacity. This will be like a spray. We'll do it with a backpack sprayer. The rate on that is gonna be half teaspoon per thousand per gallon of water. So we're gonna go with 2 gallons of water and 1 full teaspoon of tenacity. And when you buy tenacity, it does come with this syringe thing.